Xbox has been going through the ringer lately. No one is buying a Series X in the big 2025. Let's just be real. Xbox Game Pass is now PC Game Pass, and truly, in the most baffling series of decisions, Xbox is the first console with negative games. There's less than no games over there. Studios are closing left and right. They are hiring people just to fire them at this point. I would categorize this as a genocide, dude. Studios are almost gone. But one thing about Xbox, one thing it has over all other systems and PCs is ease of community. And I miss being a part of that community since I became a PC gamer. Everyone on Xbox is connected so easily. 2 button presses and we're talking. 2 button presses and we're playing together. I can click your name and send you a message no matter what game we're playing. Or we don't even have to be on the same game. I just have to find you. Everyone on Xbox has no privacy. I am going to harass you. You will get as many invites to my party as the amount of times that I can hit X on my controller. Parties, voice chats are easy to get into. There is no difference between joining your best friend and a random man from Minnesota. Each game has a club, and there are also custom clubs for different interests. And each club has looking for group posts, clips, and tons of people to talk to. It's as easy as tapping X on their name to invite them to your party, or Y to invite them to your game. Well, this video is now an obituary for the social features of Xbox because you can't invite people to your game with Y anymore, and they got rid of it 7 years ago. I'm old. It's so easy. It is incredible. I have never been able to access the deranged thoughts of internet strangers so fast in my life than when I was 14. You don't get this on PC or PlayStation. PlayStation took forever to implement groups and then removed them. Parties are much harder to invite people to, especially if they are strangers. They don't want you to talk to strangers. Might be admirable. Privacy settings seem to be defaulted to I don't want any human interaction in my gaming experience because nobody accepts my invites on PlayStation. Like, you hunted me down the entire game and you expect me to not want to talk to you? You're not getting away with that. Okay, first you start the party. Easier said than done. To start a party, you need to hit the home button, navigate out of these cards and down to the game base. Click it, then go down to the party section of the game base. Then click start party. Just for comparison, on Xbox, this would have been 2 taps to the right and an A button. Pick if the party is going to be open or invite only. If you want to invite someone, I mean their profile has to be public first, which it never is. But to invite someone, you have to go to the party and then click the little invite option in your party where you add people to the roster. No hitting X to invite people here. We are 3 menus deep right now. And you can't just go to their profile, because if you do that, the first button actually starts a private party between just the 2 of you, kicking you out of the party you're in. You risk losing your previous randos that you've wrangled up on this Friday evening. How is it on Xbox? X. Wow. And they join 75% of the time. And they come in there with conviction, dude. They start talking like it was their idea to talk to you. I know, it's a very minuscule amount of friction, but the difference between someone deciding to perform a 1-click action and a 2-click action is crazy. Responding to a notification on Xbox is as simple as holding the home button. 1 button press. While on PlayStation, you hit the home button and then it brings up a menu of what you want to do. It's why subscribing to Netflix is a 1-click process after putting in your credit card information, and unsubscribing is a torturous endeavor where you probably have to solve a Sudoku at this point. I honestly don't know how far down in the dystopia we are yet. It is such a seamless process on Xbox, and it seems so easy to me. Even the vertical window is much easier to navigate than the row of symbols across the bottom of my screen that take a bit too long to load. In the cards section that it starts you on are random every time you hit the button. Sometimes the party card is just right there and you can click on it, and it's almost on par with Xbox, but sometimes it isn't. It's just random achievements, or if a game actually supports cards like they're supposed to, it's just useless information about missions in the game, meaning you have to break out of your muscle memory and visually analyze what your options are and what you want to do every time you hit the button, so you don't click something stupid. On Xbox, you can see so much information about the people you can invite to the game right in your People tab. You can do anything right here, but what about that other console. Why would you say that? Don't even bring the Switch into this conversation. It's embarrassing, bro. When you have to enter a friend ID, it's genuinely so over. It is so terrible, I think it's on purpose. There is no party feature outside of that dumb little app on your phone that I don't know if it's even operational anymore. No game invites from any of the menus. There's only like 2 games that you would possibly use it for, but like still horrible. Horrible. Discord. The Discover feature saves Discord from segregation. If you had to get a link to join every Discord server, it would be a completely different experience. I like what they're doing here. Discord is the only other platform where you can pull a random player out of a random server and get into a call with them. The only downfall is that it's not a party, it's a call. And what I mean by that is that you can't start a call with yourself and then add this random to it. You have to start a call between just the 2 of you, which is kind of like PlayStation. In order to add someone to a DM, because I don't want to add them to my server, oh my god, this is a one-night fling. We are not moving in together. So when we're done, I just want to be done. To add someone to a DM, they have to be your friend. It doesn't leave a lot of options, so you're going to have to befriend a lot of unwanteds, or keep starting new DM groups every time you find a new person. Discord, you get a slight pass. I like what you've done to the place. You can go below Discord as well and invite players directly in the game, but those services are often awful, and there's no telling whether the username search function is gonna function, or if you need to copy and paste a user ID to friend anybody. I've mentioned it twice now, but anytime I have to do that, it's like, is this Nazi Germany? Am I just a number to you? Am I just a UID to you? I am Gag Nutties. The only Gag Nutties. Marvel Rivals, when it first dropped, was like this, but that situation was just a missing feature and was implemented a week after launch. But with Nintendo, I believe it's a deliberate attempt to keep the gaming community segregated by making social functionality horrible. Imagine if the Nintendo gamers could intercommunicate with each other and form an uprising about why Mario Odyssey is still $60. You have to decrypt ancient Mesopotamian runes to invite someone to your Animal Crossing island. Xbox search just works. It seems to just infer who you're trying to find, even if you're god-awful at typing. And you're doing it with a controller. That's the Bing difference, I guess. And it's so frictionless. You can start playing with somebody and talking to somebody before you even view their profile. If it was any more inviting, you could hit the pause button on their profile and they'd show up at your front door. Individual game services just can't compete. Let's look at Rainbow Six Siege. Ubisoft Connect. Holy bro, this is the laggiest, most dysfunctional social experience I have ever been a part of. If this was a bar, they would serve you cyanide just so you can get release from this. Username search barely works. No clubs, no looking for group posts. It takes 5 seconds to open it. Still. And it just makes me so mad when it takes over 70% of the screen. I will give them some credit. Inviting your friends to a game was a lot harder 3 years ago. It's just one click after you excruciatingly wait for Ubisoft Connect to open. And it seems like there's no way at all to invite a random person that you just played with to your game. A far cry from the seamlessness of Xbox. And this is Ubisoft we're talking about. $1 billion company. Well, probably a multi-million-dollar company now. They had 10 years and they built this. 10 years and they built this. This is the best we got. No. And lower budget games are just worse. They don't have any of that. You have to use Steam, and that hijacks the entire screen. Shift tab, and then you get the row of symbols at the bottom, and you're never gonna memorize this because half the games don't support it, and the other half have better alternatives in their own game. Along with it being so hard to even accept a Steam invite, first-person shooters don't let you move the mouse around freely, so you gotta pause, and it's a gamble whether the invite works because there's no indication that it got accepted. It just goes away, and you wait 30 seconds for nothing to happen and then try again. It's random whether the game is rendering over top of the invite so you can't click it or under so you can. And communities aren't real on Steam. It's more of like a social media, like here's a guide to this thing rather than a looking for group thing. I don't really mean they're not real, but they're not really used because Discord is just easier. This is the truth about using PCs in general. When you're playing first person, competitive shooters, the mouse is superior than the joystick in every way. But I would argue navigating menus is way easier with a controller. When the route to your games and apps, or your party, or your settings is as simple as a macro, like you have it muscle memorized, you don't gotta think. It's like inputting a cheat code. It takes way less brain power than, like, I don't even know what my thought process is whenever I am using my mouse to navigate menus. But there's so much variety of movement in the mouse that you have to start activating that visual analytical part of your brain to know where you're going. That's just not necessary after you put like 20 hours on your Xbox. It makes it much easier to interface with things concurrently, especially if you only have one monitor for your PC setup. I used to sit in the Destiny 1 tower and DM everybody in that lobby. Just strange things to see what they'd say back. Xbox messages are another tool that is so well integrated into the experience that you forget that it's weird to DM strangers. And I know every PC game basically has this with like whispering and stuff, but the text chats on PC take up 5% of the screen. It's so small. I know. I complain that Ubisoft Connect takes up 70% of the screen, and I complain that PC text boxes take up 5% of the screen. But between me and you, Ubisoft Connect has no right to take up that much of the screen for how little utility it is, and PC chats are so small, it's hard to focus on whispering, and it's just mixed in with the all chat. And whispering somebody takes too many key presses to achieve. I like being able to send hate in all chat as much as anybody, but PC chats are also another reason for people to not plug in a microphone, further destroying the social aspect of gaming. I like being able to send someone a voice message in no more than 3 clicks, by the way, and have them see it with a big notification on the bottom of their screen. It makes me feel good. They can't ignore it. You can do it so quickly that you can send out a voice message to someone that you downed before they bleed out on the floor in front of you, so you can humiliate them before you blow their brains out.
Pursue Fortnite.
It is so rad. And you know what else is rad? Clips. I want people to send me clips without dedicating a slot for my Discord on their profile. I have been an Xbox player forever. I briefly switched to PlayStation towards the end of my console gaming career, but my hours are on Xbox, and it will always be my favorite console. There is a whole genre of content not possible on anywhere but Xbox. I love watching Jinxie react to clips, and something that live and raw and seamless is impossible for any PC streamer. If it was possible, a bunch of people would be doing it right now.
Win fan. Clips win. Low key, he's better than you. Next recommended for Bart.
What are you gonna do? Email me a clip. Discord can barely send images anymore without paying $10 a month for Nitro. This guy has a monopoly on live clip reactions from the audience, and I am jealous. Even if Discord had unlimited bandwidth, clipping things on PC is such a hassle. OBS is out of the question, as that takes skill to use and set up to even record gameplay, but that's not really what you clip. You don't know what's gonna be a clip until it happens. On OBS, you can record for 4 hours and then pick out your clip. On Xbox, at any point in time, you can clip the last 30 seconds of gameplay with 2 buttons. Back when they first implemented that, you can tell when someone was clipping something because they would stop for like 2 seconds and then start playing the game again. And you just know they thought they pulled something nasty and wanted to clip that thing. But at this point, everyone has the clip button so ingrained that you can barely tell when someone clips something. They do it so fast, if you do it fast enough, you can clip it before the game pauses. It is negative aura when you watch a clip and at the end the game pauses, because you know they thought they were slick. There are ways of clipping gameplays on PC, such as the AMD game overlay thing or the NVIDIA reflex thing. I don't know what they're called, but it is daunting to figure out how to use the stuff. The keybind for AMD is Control-Shift-S, and I can save the last 30 seconds of gameplay. So after looking up a guide on how to enable AMD replay and then listening to my PC fire off like a jet engine when I do capture a clip, now what do? Post it on YouTube? I can't send it in Discord. It is 10 times bigger than the file limit every time. And 99% of PC players don't have something like this enabled. You can't do that content on PC. But this is a culture thing as well, not even a feature thing. You are so used to talking to randoms who have their mic open on Xbox that you feel like you are part of a larger gaming community rather than just using your game machine to play games alone in your house. I think it is because when Xbox Live came out, there were no parties. Everyone was hot micing in Halo lobbies and making friends. And when parties came out and privacy settings came around, the default was a free and open Xbox Town Square, where anyone can send you a message and you can get that person in your voice party in a moment and start harassing them for going 0-6 on Search and Destroy.
Come on, mouse, or I'll break your fucking legs, you little prick!
Those moments make gaming for me, man. I love spending the night talking to randoms and seeing what people from all over the world that aren't cool enough to go get wasted and party are up to on this Friday evening. Probably getting wasted and playing ranked. Absolutely tanking the SR. Let's start moving towards a more social philosophy to gaming and away from this segregated world. I want more gamers to be friends or even enemies. I don't care. It's better than not knowing them at all. Thank you for watching.